of like he called like a bodybuilding type day, working on a lot of your weak points. So I do like that kind of concept too, even for a power lifter. I think that can be beneficial. The assistance work was something else I was a really big fan of. Again, I like the fact that if you're going to be a power lifter, majority of your stuff needs to be the 3 lifts. But I thought that most of the assistance exercises were really well tailored and it made sense. It wasn't just random shit put into a program. Like for instance, on the squat day, again, even if you're a low bar squatter, it's going to be predominantly quad dominant. So he has like your 3 kind of squats, and then the 4th and 5th exercise are a leg curl and a back extension. So again, I'm not even sure if Brandon's aware of this. I'm sure he is, but working the hamstring from the knee and the hip is beneficial. So if you're doing squats, pretty much took care of your quads, and then having some hamstring from both kind of angles there is important. Same thing with kind of like bench press. Again, you don't need like a lot of chest flies and stuff like that. So he has like some shoulders and triceps. Has a lot of like lat work, again, rows, which I think is really important for powerlifters to do because the big 3 really don't take care of that. And let me see some other assistance work. I adjusted a little bit, maybe like 1 or 2 exercises, but for the most part, I kept it how it was. I really like the grip work as well. The farmer's walk that I would do on every deadlift day. Didn't really ever do grip work. Again, I like the fact that it wasn't like a wrist curl or something like that, which I think is probably not as beneficial as people like to think it is. But heavy kind of farmer's walks, you know, barbells, dumbbells. You could even do something like a walking lunge is a good one. Any kind of grip work can really help your deadlift. I thought that helped me a lot. I would have a lot of problems locking out a deadlift, and even like for my heavy or my higher rep sets during the cube, I feel like I didn't have really an issue. So as I transfer out of the cube, I definitely want to make sure I'm being pretty consistent with the farmer's walks. I think that's a good way to nail a lot of stuff. You definitely get the forearm work and you get some cardiovascular work in there. You could be creative too and get kind of like some core work in there too. If you do like a 1-arm farmer's walk, I like those a lot. I'm not sure, he doesn't really talk about that in his program. He just kind of throws in some ideas. But again, if you're educated, you can get some good stuff with forearm work and grip work and have it, like I said, be a good bang for your buck. Last few things here. The training maxes, I think, is a really good point to make. I'm pretty sure in his book, if I remember correctly, he wanted your training maxes to kind of just be set where they've been. So like for me, my best squat ever is 415. I should have put my squat at 415 and etc. for the rest of my movements. But when I put that on paper, with the way the percentages were set out, like I almost wouldn't have hit a PR until week 8 or 9. So what I actually did was kind of shoot what I thought would be a really good target 1 rep max at the end of my training cycle. So I kind of looked at my 415 squat. I'm not even sure what my bench press was. I think I had a 435 deadlift at that time. And then looked, okay, what do I think is that I can accomplish if things go well in the course of 8 or 9 weeks. I'll kind of talk about how I treated the last week here in a second. But, so I think it was a 445 squat, a 270 max bench press. And again, that was a touch and go, so a little bit different there. And then the deadlift was 465. So I pretty much just put that as my target maxes. And then what I did was actually put my last wave, so week 7, week 8, and week 9, because again, you're going to have a max effort attempt at each one of those lifts during the last 3 weeks. Because I didn't have a meet to prepare for, so I pretty much treated those like a meet, for an example. So yeah, I set that as my target kind of max there. And when I looked at that on paper, the program looked a little bit more challenging. And again, I could see like, okay, that would be a PR, that would be a PR. And again, I don't think I ever really had to adjust the weights for the most part during this cycle. So I think that's probably a better way to go about it if you're not going to have a meet at the end. If you're going to have a meet at the end, maybe not be so advantageous with your with putting your squat max and stuff like that. You know, don't try to put a 50-pound training max above what you actually have hit, because you may kind of run yourself down and prepare for your meet. But if you're not doing that, I don't see a really problem with setting your your training maxes at what you're trying to hit at the end of the prep. So yeah, I ended up not really testing out a squat max because I had this really strange issue with sumo deadlift. I actually pulled sumo the week after I hit my max effort deadlift. I hit a 455 conventional, which is a 20-pound PR. Was stoked about it, and I was anticipating to switch to sumo for my next training cycle. And I've had this problem 2 or 3 times in the past of just having the most incredible, I don't even know what to call them. It's not even cramps, not even pains. It's a chronic fatigue, really, like in my adductors and my growing region, a little bit just in kind of my quads, where I tried to squat twice this past week, and I'll get about 225 and really didn't know if I could hit it for like a set of 5. So it's just really, really weird fatigue. I would even feel it like cramping up during a warm up before I even touched the barbell. So I didn't really